Willpower Zone with Will Berry.
What's up, everyone? This is Will. Welcome back to another great episode of the Willpower Zone. We are now on episode 13. And today, really the topic for today is health is your true wealth. So if you haven't got a chance to listen to the other episodes, make sure to go back. We're on all platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, also on YouTube. So they're all on there. So if you prefer YouTube, you can go there. If you're on there, make sure to like and subscribe so you'll be able to get notified every single time there's a new episode that comes out. So let's get right into it. So one of the first things, and this is really near and dear to me, health is your true wealth. And you have to have it in many cases, not in more so perfect way. There's no perfect particular shape or form, especially that that you have to have in order to have the wealth, because it's very different across the board. But it's very important, because if you're here to do amazing things and you don't have your health in check, then it could prevent you from being able to have the longevity to see things come into come to pass and be able to manifest for you. So some of the thoughts that I have, especially on health, it hits close to home for me, because a couple of years ago, especially, I was overweight and just was not doing well in that department, especially taking care of myself and doing the things I needed to do. And it really, pretty much I had to kind of get myself all in the pants and really just make sure to get things together and get things on track. And I had to have goals that were tied to things that were bigger than myself. And that's how you have to do it with your health. You can't just do it, just say, oh, well, I just want to lose a couple pounds, or I want to look a certain way, or, I want to, whatever it may be that you may have in terms of your plans. You got to make it bigger than yourself. So whether it may be, it's like, oh, I want to be able to, see my daughter and my son, be able to get married and see them to have a fruitful life and be able to have a family. Whatever it may be, if you tie your health to that, then it's going to help you to stick with it. And many people have talked about it, especially I've seen on podcasts and various people, they talk about, especially when they got that wake-up call from their doctor, and how they tied it to things that were going to last longer than the fact that they're just losing weight and looking better. So it's a very important, do all the necessary things that you need to do to get your health in check, so that you can do all the amazing things that you were here to do. So let's get into the next thing. So physical health, and making sure to do your check-ins. Yes, I of course can improve on this to get better at this. Lots of changes in life. But it's important each and every year to get that healthy checkup. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Know where your markers are at. Know where your numbers are at. Just so that you can just make those fine-tuning. But it's also important to make sure just to maybe have somebody just to keep you accountable, whether that's a health coach, a fitness coach of some sort, a trainer or whatever else. They can also make sure that you're also staying on track and keeping those regular updates, so that if there's something going on, something that's a little off, you may want to get it checked out. So especially for you guys, especially if you're feeling like fatigue and lack of energy and different things like that, you may want to get that checked out, because as you age, yes, your testosterone is going to go down. And same thing for the ladies, especially as you age, certain things are going to get a little harder. Same thing for the guys. So you want to make sure you're at your optimal best health, especially when you're trying to embark on a variety of different things in your life and all the amazing things that you want to do. You got to make sure that you're at tip-top shape and your performance, so that you can give your best self each and every day. So also one of the things that's also very important about health being your true wealth is also nourishing your mind. So this is very important. I'm really big on this, because in many cases it's kind of like the mind-body, or the body-mind in a sense, because when both of those two things are paired together, because whatever the mind is conceiving and it's thinking and everything else, then that translates over to exactly how the mind's going to operate. So I'll give you an example. So if, let's say, your mind is basically at a point where it's always just negative, and maybe it's just at a place where it's just not at a point where you're just right mentally, or just things are at a particular happy state, you might be saying, oh, well, you know what, rather than just go work out today, I'm just going to basically take the day off and just decide to eat whatever I want to eat, whatever else. And you got to be mindful about that. So this is why it's so important. You got to be able to do your daily meditation meditations. You got to also be able to listen to ebooks and podcasts and different things, people who are inspirational, people who are motivating others, so that you have the positive thoughts that you need to really be able to take care of your body. And that's one of the things that helped me especially is audiobooks and filling my mind with more positive things, so then I'm less likely to dive into just habits that are just not good for my health and just eating all the things I want to do. Now, there's a proper time and place. I'm not saying you can't do that, but you don't want to do it all the time because then it can put you in a position where you're sluggish, lethargic, and don't have the energy that you need to really be able to get things done. The other thing also too that's also important about health, being your true wealth, is also your emotional well-being. You also have to target that, because sometimes in many cases you could be doing everything right, but then for some reason your health is still stalling, or maybe just for some reason you just can't get yourself up out of bed, or just stay active and take care of yourself. So you have to really kind of say, well, wait a minute, am I having potentially some emotional things that are weighing me down or holding me back, or things that I have not dealt with? So one of the things, I'll kind of get into this into the next episode, but some of the things, especially when I was going through some very tough times in my life and everything, I had healthy activities to help me kind of filter through a lot of the emotionalism that I was going through. And it was important because, for me, the gym is my sanctuary, one of the sanctuaries that I have. But it's one of the main ones because it allows me to kind of filter out some of the bad, negative energy and things that might be weighing me down, and allows me to filter those things out so that I can be clear of sound mind. And you got to embrace your emotions. Don't, especially, I know as a guy, sometimes we tend to kind of suppress those things because sometimes it's not always seen as masculine. But don't do that, because over a period of time, if you do that, it's going to create a deficit. So then all of a sudden you might blow up or get angry out of nowhere and everything else. You got to make sure to have healthy activities, to have a good outlet, so you can be able to deal with your emotional side in a more healthy way. And the other thing also too, which is also big, is prevention. Before something get out of hand, if you maybe start, let's say, maybe having some heart issues or little nagging things that you're starting to see that might get a little out of hand, you want to prevent those. So that's why it's important to get your healthy checkups, or maybe seek some guidance from a doctor or something like that, in order to make sure that you don't let something build up over a period of time, whether it's, poor eating habits, and that can lead to your high cholesterol or potential heart attacks. I hate to kind of go so, 0 to 100, but it's so important, us guys, and even also women and everyone else, it's so important to make sure to prevent before things happen. And this is why it's so important to be mindful and very perceptive, to make sure that if you're seeing something, make sure to take care of it right then and there, so it doesn't get out of hand and create a worse off situation. And then last but not least, really, it's just sometimes it is a balancing act. Really take care of your health, and but I'm here to tell you, if you take care of your health, it is the true wealth. It is the wellspring of the longevity that you'll need to be able to be here to do all the amazing things that you're meant here to do. So you got to balance it all. It has to be at the forefront of your mind, because it trust me, at the end of the day, at the end of your life, when you've accomplished all these great things, and you have all the accolades, all the money, and status, and the family, and everything else, the one thing you're going to wish you had is your health, so you can be around here long enough to be able to see all the things that you aspire to do, to see them come to pass, and also see others to take on that mantle too. And that's always kind of the biggest thing for me, is I want to be able to impress upon you as the viewer, mind you, the things that are so important. And I want this message to continue to keep spreading well beyond me, even beyond the fact, especially down the road, years and years down the line, so that someone else can be able to gain that motivation and inspiration to do something that they were meant here to do, and impact them in a great way. So that is it for the episode for today. I hope you got a lot out of today. Remember to keep health as a forefront in your mind. And remember, there's no particular defined state or body type or anything else. Remember, we're all different. We have to do things that are best for our bodies. And this is why it's important to kind of figure that out and do the research and homework to do that. But hey, make sure if you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe, and send this to someone that you feel like this would be helpful for. And check us out on the multiple platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and everything else. I'll make sure to upload the episodes and everything so you get a chance to catch up. But other than that, make sure to stay in the zone, the willpower zone, because it's going to help you take things to the next level. We'll see you again.